I would like to thank the Inspector General of Police, policing the Nigerian police, for coming in today, and is coming in for us, has sent a very clear signal that nobody is above the law. If the IG can be here and is here, other people that are asked to appear before this house should get ready to appear or get arrested by the IG. It is important to send this very, very important signal that we're not joking, we're not playing, we are working on behalf of the Nigerian people. So for me, the appearance of the IG is more than symbolic. It shows the IG understands the law. It shows the IG understands the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It also further shows the IG understands the role of the Public Accounts Committee. It is important before the IG takes an oath, for the IG to give us why successive letters sent to him, received by him. When I say him, the Nigerian police, even some of these letters were actually sent before his appointment as Inspector General of Police. Why does it take this long for a response? So it is important to lay this background, and the IG take his oath, and the IG now demand from us what he wants the committee to do while he is not available. The floor is for you, Inspector General of Police. Give us a synopsis of why.
Hectic day for the Inspector General of Police. But out of profound respect for distinguished senators, for the distinguished members of the Senate, led by the uncommon President of the Senate, Senate President Godswill Akpabio. I had to take a break from my engagements today to be here. Distinguished Chairman, the Senate Committee on Public Accounts of the National Assembly had directed the IGP to respond to a set of audit queries that arose from the annual reports of the Auditor General for the Federation on the accounts of the Federation of Nigeria for the year 2019 on issues related to the force armament. The force responded to the issues raised in the queries and submitted same.
No, don't go there.
Accordingly.
It's in bits and pieces. Now, want the IG to give us, second, you have to take an oath to also showcase that whoever comes here takes an oath. Because we are on a national television, we don't want any other person appearing before this committee to not say, when the IG came. When the IG came, he didn't take an oath. What you do, this query before you, once you take an oath, you can now, you have the liberty to answer these questions yourself, or to transfer these questions to the person that is adequately in the know of these queries. The options are yours. So we want give IG an oath, and then after taking the oath, you see these queries. They will read the query. You, the Inspector General, will read the queries. But here on this divide, it is our duty, because in Abuja, you can take your leave after reading the queries. We are going to be very brief. You can ask an officer to continue. However, if you want, we'll go through these queries with you, and then when you leave, we will need a letter from you asking us that in the case that you are not available for this committee, this officer or that officer should be representing you, so that we don't muddle what we are doing. We are doing this in the interest of the public. We don't want to take a lot of your time going some of these things. Some of the queries coming may be bigger than what you have today. But when you go back, give us those officers that in the case, so that we domicile it here. And whoever is presiding will look at this later, and the committee members are aware that you have already written a letter requesting that if and when you are not available, these are officers that will do this. So, you can help him. Echo it.
Do solemnly affirm that the evidence I shall give before this distinguished committee shall be the truth, the whole, that the submission I shall make to this committee, including all documents and annexures, are factual, genuine, and reliable. So help me God.
Oh, thank you.
Extended to me by this committee. It was not deliberate. The truth is that all the dates that you have given to me to appear had clashed with other important security engagements in the office of the Inspector General of Police. I cannot, in good conscience, promise you that subsequent invitations I'll be available to be here. I would therefore like to introduce to you, to this committee, the Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of police budget and accounts, in person of AIG Abdul Sulaiman, to represent me at future invitations extended to me. Thank you.
Gentlemen of reprieve or head of security agencies, to take leave, to provide us alternatives in accommodating issues like that. It is imperative to understand the nature of the Nigerian security architecture, the Nigerian security situation, and the prevailing disturbances. So therefore the IG's office, we know as a matter of fact, is a mess with a lot of issues almost on the hourly basis. So I'm sure we have no reason not to grant the IG this reprieve. Am I talking for the committee that as you should have this reprieve? Those for say yes.
Yes.
Those against, they are not here. IG, you have granted this reprieve, is still the ball back in your court. Do you intend to stay true this query presentation, or do you still mandate your AIG to carry forward? Reprieve or head of security agencies to take leave, to provide us alternatives in accommodating issues like that. It is imperative to understand the nature of the Nigerian security architecture, the Nigerian security situation, and the prevailing disturbances. So therefore the IG's office, we know as a matter of fact, is a mess with a lot of issues almost on the hourly basis. So I'm sure we have no reason not to grant the IG this reprieve. Am I talking for the committee that as you should have this reprieve? Those for say yes.
Yes.
Those against, they are not here. IG, you have granted this reprieve, is still the ball back in your court. Do you intend to stay true this query presentation, or do you still mandate your AIG to carry forward?
Out of profound respect I have for the members of this committee, I would therefore like my assistant, the Assistant Provincial Police in charge of public accounts and budget, to continue with the session. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before us is the Nigerian Police Force. You have before us two issues to look at. One is irregularities in award of contracts. One is payment for contracts not exceeding certain amount. And we have more than that. We have up to 8 issues. Wonderful. So, Auditor General, is the rep of IGP on board?
Yes.
It's already on board?
Yeah.
Okay, may I invite Auditor General to read out the issues? Thank you.
Irregularity in the award and execution of contracts for the procurement of security items totaling 1,136,715,200 naira. Section 16, subsection 8 of the Procurement Act 2007 states, and I quote, whenever it is established by a procuring entity or the bureau that any or a combination of the situations set out exist, a bidder may have its bids or tender excluded from any particular procurement proceedings if G of that authority I quoted, the bidder fails to submit a statement regarding its dominating or subsidiary relationship with respect to other parties to the proceedings.
Please, can you start afresh so that others will also flow?
Okay.
Go to page 383. Page 383 of...
That you responded to the query issued by the Auditor General's office. When, and this was also for you, when were these queries answered? Were they answered promptly? And if it was answered promptly, why would the Auditor General say that he did not respond?
Respond immediately. Like I said earlier on, some of these things were done when all of us here were not there at that time. So it was the record when this is after the query got to the National Assembly and the people wrote to us that we have to go back to the archive to begin to answer from the archive. So if you will permit us, sir, every document that is not there, we will make sure that is necessary for this Senate, we will make sure it is provided later, sir.
So you're asking for a session of time?
Yes, sir.
To go and put the house in order?
Very correct, sir.
Members? Yes, yes.
Underrate any government establishment.
So what is the cause of not responding? Because if I had responded, probably would have called you, would have explained. So can you give us reason behind
An excessive bottlenecks, considering the number of security issues we are handling, and sometimes, but we are very sorry, we don't intend to, we are not deliberately.
But the question, AIG, can you confirm that you have seen these queries? Have you confirmed seeing the queries in the first instance?
Maybe I thought.
We saw the queries, and I can, on behalf of my respond that we have already responded to the Auditor General's query as contained, as read out. All the 8 issues have been adequately addressed, and our submission is already before this Honorable Senate.
Okay, go ahead, AIG, and respond.
On issue 1, sir, based on auditor's observation on contract awarded to single proprietor in the name of different companies, it is pertinent to inform you that the items procured are security-related items which have serious security implications. Consequently, only the companies and contractors that are considered to have manufactured franchise evidence of genuine registration with Corporate Affairs Commission and found to have procured high quality and durable armament equipment for the force within the shortest time in the past were selected to participate in the procurement process. This is in line with the provisions of Section 115(2) in bracket of the Procurement Act 2007, which prohibits public advertisement or procurement of special goods, works, and services involving national security, which armament equipment fall under these categories. Furthermore, First Secretary Purchasing and Tender Board awarded contract to various companies in the year 2019 for the supply of various security items to the Nigerian Police Force under 201B to 2018 Intervention Fund due to the deteriorating security situation in our country, coupled with the 2019 general elections. This necessary and urgent and compelling need to equip the Nigerian Police Force before the elections come to pass. This, by the budget constraints accumulating in the approval of an intervention fund to address the threat in the material needs towards the operational efficiency and effectiveness of the force.
Okay, AIG. The about response within short notice in the past, and more so, there are some equipment that does not require public advert for security reasons. Yes. That alone to me is convincing. But I leave it for members to. Yes, go ahead.
The total value of the contract is about 1.1 billion, and this amount was given to 10 contractors, and the 10 contractors have same or similar identity. Why was it not given to one contractor? Does that amount to splitting of contractors?
Yes.
Because it's a specialized item which one vendor can carry, and the same vendor has different companies. So we can award to the same companies because it's a specialized item. We cannot give to other person who doesn't have that specialization. And the armaments, mostly they require end user certificate. It's not everybody that has that kind of that. Yeah, I answer your question.
I think what you're saying is that why didn't you give it in bulk to one company?
The whole contract.
Was it because of the approval limits of the approving officer?
See, we don't compare the contractor to give us any of his companies. It's the duty of the contractor to decide. Say, give this item to to the company A, and since we have profiled him and we have seen that he's well qualified and have done similar job for us before, so the company he give to us, this my contract is going to do supply maybe this AK-47 for example now. If you say give supply of AK-47 to company Andrew, we give to him. Supply of ammunition for AK, the same 47. He say give it to company B, we give to company B. So
why not giving the whole of it to one company?
It's the contractor who knows the status of those companies. So if you are a contractor,
so if he is qualified,
yes, sir.
For one,
and the need came at different times. The only difference is that it's coming from under the same funding intervention. The request was made at different times, but the supply, the intervention came at the same time. But when the president decided to intervene to give us the money to procure those items, so as it comes, that's when we'll make the request.
Yes, sir. In addition, sir, these items were supplied to different locations and different zones in Nigeria.
I think by the same contractor, one contractor.
One contractor can do that. I think what they are trying to avoid is the approval power of the approving officer. They want to go to the board. I'm a very frank person.
You know he's capable of doing it. And you know he owns all the 10 companies. Isn't it?
Yes.
Why can't he declare his interest? Because the procurement law requested that he should declare his interest, they have related all of them, and they put the letter there, the related company. Even if you want to split it.
Splitting is not allowed.
I've listened. And I think, Chairman, you actually said you were convinced about the explanation. It's not convincing.
Yes.
Because the truth must be told, but we can forgive.
Yes.
You can convict a man when police charge you for crime, and the magistrate or judge find you guilty. In terms of sentencing, we say, don't do it again. That is enough caution. It's enough sentence. Or to pretend that what is wrong is right, is I have difficulties in reconciling it. First, it's a serious crime for one man to pretend to bear 3 names. If I don't know it, you know it more than me. And the details here are such that there's no escape route. Same phone number, same email. And even you confirm that you know that it's the same person. But that he can pick and choose. That's not correct. This is not about opinion, it's about law. You breach the law. So what you can say, and that is the easiest way for you, is not to try, you know, as they say, Mr. Chairman, when you try to defend one lie, we need series of lies, some of which will become much more criminal. There are 2 possible options. If I were to ask this question, maybe I'll cause you more trouble. By asking about the approval threshold. For who? And at what level was this done? That is saying we reveal something that you want to hide. So I think, like you tried to say earlier, right? First, this was done long ago, before the present IGP.
Yes.
It wasn't done under this present IG. But that does not excuse you, because as you know more than me, time does not run against the state in criminal matters.
Yes.
And therefore, a feature of time does not apply. However, that the guy who did it is no more in uniform also does not excuse you, because the system is a continuum. What you can do is to make the case, and I want you to make that case. But this was done not with you responsible, and but you inherited one of the liabilities of asset and liability were inherited to a certain level, and therefore you want this community to take that into account and a reassurance that you will do so again. To do otherwise is to ask for more excavation. If you excavate, it might get much more messier. I think it's important that you know it, we know it. Mr. Chairman, we have the discretion to do what we have to do. It should be based on a convincing presentation. Even God does not forgive if you don't ask for forgiveness. Yes, confession, I'm a Catholic. I don't confess. The Father will not ask God to.
But the problem, my excellency, is that if you confess at the police station, it wasn't.
The good news for them is that we are not police.
They don't have confessional statement.
We are.
Which is very dangerous to the tribe.
Yeah, I do understand.
Thank you, excellency.
If you don't, you know, I used to go to magistrate. They used to charge me a lot to magistrate court. If you plead guilty, the magistrate will be more lenient. But if you want the case to go through all the proceedings and they find you guilty, then the maximum law applies. So you can't be wrong in asking for mercy. Even we here, we do make mistakes, at least mistakes of the head. So I think we can look at it that way, so that you don't go away with the impression that you outsmarted us. No, not even by half. Or we can go the other way.
Thank you, Excellency.
And the Nigerian public are seeing what you are doing. And one of the reasons why we are here doing what you are doing, so that it creates a clear perception. While you are doing this thing about 7 years ago, those who are doing it thought that was the end of
That was the end of the act, and there will never be a day like this. This is not a query of yesterday or today, almost 5-6 years back. And because we have this institutional memory, some of these queries, once we read them and we look at the responses, we know the answers. And in providing these answers, you are still unable to cover your backs completely. You try to, like Adam said, to wriggle your way. We do not want a repetition of this nature going forward. However, for you, if you had gone through the procurement law, you still need to provide award confirmation through the procurement. What you need to do when you go back, you still have to apply for procurement resolution ascertaining this particular job and make it as part of your documentation. That means you have concluded this thing. And the committee will require some of these things so that we move forward. Once we ask you to do this, you do it, and then the secretariat will take stock of the documentation and then write to the budget office at the Auditor General that this is the compliance, and then we move forward. But if you do not attend to it wholesomely, another IG will come in the next 5 years. This question will still be lingering. So let's just perfect this and move forward. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Yes.
AIG Suleiman and AIG Ali.
ACP Ali.
ACP Ali, very good.
Even that, we looked at.
In that, this 2019, where were you? You were even in the account section.
No, I was the commander.
That you can understand where we're coming from. The due process was not fully followed, and being a law enforcement agency, the leading one in this country, we expect that you should live above board. So without wasting your time, we expect you henceforth to do the right thing in line with the provisions of the Public Procurement Act. More than 3 companies cannot take jobs at a time, even if they are the most qualified. That is a standing law as far as public procurement is concerned. So you should advertise internally the way you have been doing it for more contractors. Let the due process be followed. Nigerian police should serve as a leading example on due process and insisting that the right thing must be done. This is very important. So we thank your IG for being here before now. That shows respect for the Senate, and we can't take it lightly. So in his honor, I'll be praying my colleagues for us to vacate this query so that we can make progress. In knowledge of the fact that the correction is noted and will be followed in the course of further procurements with the Nigerian Police Force. Yes, Your Excellency.
As extracts. Payment for contracts not executed to the tune of 924,985,000 naira. Paragraph 708 of the Financial Regulation states, on no accounts will payment be made for services not yet performed or for goods not yet supplied. Audit observed, 1, that the sum of 924,985,000 was paid to 11 contracts involving construction of 3 units of gun source portal system, supply of 50 units of ballista roller trolley, and 20 units of ballistic mobile surveillance house in some selected commands and formations. 2, final payments were made in March 2019 without evidence of execution. 3, documents such as end user certificate, store receipt voucher SRV, store issue voucher SIV, job completion certificate were not presented for audit examination. And 4, the items claimed to have been constructed/supplied at the force headquarters, Federal Capital Territory, Command, Explosive Ordnance Disposal EOD unit, and Police Mobile Force PMF unit as specified in the award letter, revealed that the contracts were not executed as at the time of physical verification of the purported items in June 2020. And the response from the management was there was no response received from the management. And the office recommended thoughts. One, that is to furnish reason why payments were made for contracts not executed. Two, recover the sum of 924,985,000 being payment for unexecuted contracts and remit same to the treasury. Three, forward evidence of remittance to the public account committees of the National Assembly. And four, otherwise apply sanctions relating to payments for poor quality of work and prosecution by EFCC prescribed by paragraphs 3105 and 3104, subsection 3 of the financial regulations, respectively.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you that you responded to the query issued by the Auditor General's office. When, and this was also for you, when were these queries answered? Were they answered promptly? And if it was answered promptly, why would the Auditor General say that he did not respond?
Respond immediately. Like I said earlier on, some of these things were done when all of us here were not there at that time. So it was the record when this is after the query got to the National Assembly and the people wrote to us that we have to go back to the archive to begin to answer from the archive. So if you will permit us, sir, every document that is not there, we will make sure that is necessary for this Senate, we will make sure it is provided later, sir.
So you're asking for a session of time?
Yes, sir.
To go and put your house in order?
Very correct, sir.
Members? Yes, yes.
IGs don't have immunity. So whoever was the IG at the time this infraction were committed, is he not liable? Because in our law, you cannot punish me for an offense committed by another person. Even as we recognize that systems of government is a continuum. No, you can't. So that people don't commit crime, then they retire and they appear to have enjoyed immunity by default. So the point I'm making is that I'm worried about establishing a tradition whereby if you can delay reply, as in this case, they did not reply, they did not respond to queries by the auditor, and then they have left the service. I believe that they are still liable. And so rather than go to your archive, you might need to summon them. Because if public officers have been summoned, former ministers, former governors, and former senators, but who was a senator, always a senator, if they can be summoned to account for a crime committed against the state 10 years ago, why should it not apply to police IGs and DIGs and AIGs, even if they have retired? So that we don't have two sets of laws. One is binding on other than for the police hierarchy, they appear to have an immunity that is unknown to law. So because you can't be arresting people for offenses and then you retire and then you get away with your own impurities. I don't want to be, so that we operate under the same law.
Yes, I think your submission is to...
We are senators. May we not commit an offense as senators now? But if in 10 years' time somebody find out we commit offense, as we have seen, people are being invited to account for what they did 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and the police are quick to remind you that time does not run against the state in criminal matters. So you should summon those IGs. No. That is a way, excuse me, you can have your opinion, but I'm entitled to be safe. You can invite them. When you're talking of going to the archive, that is fine. But when you do, the signature of those involved in it can be summoned to come and defend themselves.
Okay.
That way,
let me brief you,
yes.
Make your point. Thank you.
So I'm saying, if it is necessary, beside the ICAP, those who did it should come and explain to this committee.
The chairman, it's not today we are doing public accounts. Every item queried, every infraction committed is by the Nigerian police, not by a particular person. What happens if the officers are unable to get documentation themselves? It is then that will tell the committee that they will now require those people that were there when this happened. It is not, we are not looking for that person that committed this infraction. We are looking at the infraction documentation-wise. Even the one that you have answered, that you have provided the end user certificate. Is it with the secretariat? These are things that we must do. Example, if on behalf of this committee, I commit an infraction, it is the public account committee of this Senate that will be liable until if the public account committee will not say Ningi did it on his person, not on my behalf, then that's when there is a requirement for me to appear. Whatever the other AGs have done in the past, once there is an infraction, it is the present IG that will answer it. That is why you say government is a continuum. Thank you. Thank you.
The police is very clear on this paper. The police indicated that all the items required have been submitted to the committee. The store receipt voucher, the SIV, the job completion certificate, the end user. So what is important for us is to confirm from the committee if they have submitted. There is no need for any extension of time. It's for us just to consider.
Thank you, my distinguished colleague. Companies awarded contracts were 7, not 11. All the companies delivered the contracts accordingly. Evidence of end user certificate here and job completion certificate were provided in the submission to the committee.
Yes, sir.
So do we have those documents?
Yes, sir.
We don't have it here. Which page?
Strain they had when the auditors visited. That's why we're not able to, so we don't know why they didn't answer at that time. But we were out there now. This Honorable Senate, this distinguished Senate wrote to us. The distinguished Senate wrote to us. We went to the archive and saw these documents. So we felt there was no reason why the Auditor General shouldn't have been answered at the first instance. That's why this President IG directed that this team must be complied with, and that's why we did so.
Distinguished members of this committee, the response with respect to those documents were available at that time. No, there is a time limit to which when management letters is issued to an agency to respond. When that was not done, you will have the ample chance of sending a reminder, and after the second reminder, then it will now come in a condensed format where we present to this. So I believe that we don't have that luxury of time to just allow this thing to be going on and on before we now compile. So with this you have presented now, I think it will be very apt for us to have maybe an ample chance to look at peruse and look at the validity of some of these documents. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I'll stand back down. Yes, we need to see the original documents and they need to interfere with the General's office and get back to us. Thank you. Issue number 3.
Ammunition, paragraph 2603 of the financial regulation states, in the event of any loss of stores, the officers in charge of the store in which the loss shall occur shall 1. Report immediately to the head of department or unit, but not later than 3 days, by the fastest means possible, if the loss occurs away from headquarters. B. Report to the nearest police station if there is any suspicion of fraud or theft. Initiate action on Trust Reform 146 by completing Part 1 thereof and forward a duplicate to his head of division or unit without delay. Audit observed from the review of arms movement register, monthly returns of arms and ammunition registers at the armory section that 1. The total number of lost firearms as reported as at 31st December 2018 stood at 178,459 pieces. 2. Out of this number, 88,078 were AK-47 rifles. 3,907 assorted rifles and pistols across different police formations that could not be accounted for as at January 2020, as shown in the table below. In the table we have serial number 1 to 5 and locations, total number of missing unserviceable firearms. Serial number 1, 15 training institutions. Total number of missing ammunition, 601, not reported, was the remarks. 2, 23 formations, 42 missing items, not reported. Number 3, 37 police commands, 1,514, not reported. 4, zone 1 to 12, 29, not reported. 5, PMF 1 to 68, 1,721 missing items, not reported, was the remark. And the source was extract from schedules of returns of arms and loss of arms as at January 2020. 4, formal report on the loss of firearms through duly completed Form 146, loss of stores, were not presented for examinations. 5, records obtained from force armament of the force headquarters show 21 police mobile force, PFF Squadron, Abuja, did not report a single case of missing firearms, whereas schedule of missing arms obtained from the same PMF showed a total number of 46 missing arms between year 2000 and February 2019. And 6, the value of the lost firearms could not be ascertained because no document relating to their cost of acquisition was presented for examinations. No response received from the management, and the office recommended us: number 1, furnish reason why firearms could not be accounted for, and why 21 police mobile force, PMF Squadron, Abuja, did not report a single case of missing firearms. 2, account for the 3,907 assorted rifles and pistols across different police formations, missing firearms. And 3, they should forward evidence of compliance to the Public Accounts Committees of the National Assembly. And 4, otherwise apply sanctions relating to gross misconduct stated in paragraph 3129 of the Financial Regulations. Mr. Chair.
I believe that we responded to this query appropriately, and we have all the data here, starting from page 215. 215. 215, yes.
No, can you read your response? The response we have here. On the sheet 3. This is the sheet 3, am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
if I'm correct, your response here goes to us. They fit query and took necessary action. The IGP has ordered digitalization of development of software to handle real-time update of arms and ammunition nationwide. They have not answered the question.
Noted. Force Armament Session schedule of functions include the procurement of armaments, equipment, and distribution to various police commands and formations throughout Nigeria, as well as the auditing returns of arms and ammunition. Having done a painstaking review of auditors' report of arms and ammunition of commands and formation between 2000 to 2020, it was revealed that some commands and formation did not report loss of firearms and ammunition, Consequently, signals were sent to the affected formation to produce comprehensive investigation report on the loss of the said ammunition on the firearms and ammunition, as well as complete Treasury Form 146 for audit attachment in pages 219 to 224. However, it is required that the Treasury Forms 146 is completed by the Commissioner of Police in charge of the affected commands. Again, number 21 PMF did not include report of their loss of arms and ammunition to the force armament for the period of their successive audit of returns, and reason being that they were issued an official query by an external auditor, and the said query was answered. Copy of the query is hereby attached, which shows the required investigation report and Treasury Form 146 in pages 225 to 324. Is there in the report and the secretaries?
But they have not.
Detailed reasons of what has happened.
Can you give us those reasons? Take us there.
Mr. Chairman, acceptable, because it will be the news. It will just be the news. However, you can extract this news in an executive section. My opinion. These are matters that I feel we should discuss privately, sir, because these are security issues. The issue of firepower of any organization is secret and holds separately to our chest, that we don't allow it to get outside. But I know that constantly the IG called for audit of firearms periodically, and police will not allow any firearm to get lost at whatever cost. So when we go to executive session, sir.
Let me have for a closed door meeting. And we shouldn't be the one requesting for closed door meeting. We're explaining to Nigerians what happened. So if they are the ones saying for security reasons cannot have a closed door meeting, it's a different thing. We consider it. We cannot be more careful than the Pope. As far as I'm concerned, these rifles were procured with Nigerian tax money. And Nigerians, from the highest to the least person, should know what happens to it. We are going to replace some of these firearms with public funds. If Nigeria is an advanced country, somebody can get up and ask you questions based on what you are saying here, because they will have the information. It's a public document. So nothing should be treated secretly under my watch. Please, AIG, tell us what happened to these firearms. 3,907 firearms, mainly AK-47. We must be serious for once. If there is no evidence of recovery of them, let us know that these firearms were carted away during the NSAS or during whatever. It's understandable. But we must have the record. Nigerians should know, so that in the case of your future budget, we can say, police have lost 3,970 firearms. We should increase their budget to replace those firearms. That's what we're talking about. Please, can we move forward?
Big men of the Nigerian police force. Let me first of all introduce myself. My name is Senator Joel Thomas. I represent the good people of Delta South Nigeria District. Mr. Chairman, I came in midway into this discourse, and I've listened patiently from what you've said and from your own point of view. And you offer them the olive branch, and they have taken it.
Yeah.
That they want to close the session. But let me say this, so I can put the record straight. In taking that olive branch, he said something.
and which is also documented, that when they discovered these discrepancies noted by the Auditor General of the Federation, they have sent signals to the affected commands to report. Now, Mr. Chairman, I do not think that the outcome of that report or the outcome of that investigation conducted by them should be a private discussion.
Thank you.
I do not think so. I do not think so. Why do I say so? It is good for Nigerians to know where missing arms goes to and how we can curtail them. You cannot in one hand say that the IG is interested, so interested in ensuring that there are no missing arms. And here we have missing arms. And we cannot account for it. And you have carried an investigation, and we cannot also want people to know. If you tell us now, what are we going to tell the public? I want to align myself with the chairman who says that the Public Account Committee is a public account. It's not a committee of custom, a committee of this or that, it's a Public Account Committee. It's a committee that audits every other agencies of government. And that is why the chairman of the Public Account Committee is a member of the opposition party. So, the representative of the IG, I don't know the rank and file of, I don't know the AIG, I don't know the rank. So, AIG, what I would say is this: if they are going to discuss some other issues in this matter, and you are saying that, like when the DSS going to try to procure equipment, rest of them are not like sensitive in nature that it should not be said in the public, I will agree. But this is something that is missing, that was provided for, that is missing. So if you want to make argument for other issues that you want to do, counter-terrorism or a means of trying to curtail and rest of them, yes, I will understand. But not for an item that was procured that is missing and that you have carried out an investigation on. I think it's good that you make it public. Mr. Chairman, on that note, I rest my case. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak.
These are matters that I feel we should discuss privately, sir, because these are security issues. The issue of firepower of any organization is secret and holds secretly to our chest, that we don't allow it to let out, sir. But I know that constantly the IG called for audit of firearms periodically, and police will not allow any firearm to get lost at whatever cost. So when we go to executive session, sir.
Mr. Chairman,
Thank you.
Let me have.
Distinguished Chairman, let me join in saying that the Public Accounts Committee is a place where nothing is covered. You don't put anything under the carpet. You don't sweep anything under the carpet. You've gone through these processes. The Auditor General of the Federation has raised queries, and you have had ample opportunity to address these issues. And when matters are referred to the Public Accounts Committee, it means that their responses have not been taken to be adequate. And when it comes here, this is the place where you bear it all and supply all answers to missing links covered in the query. So, Mr. Chairman, I support you in taking the stand that this is a very weighty issue. Missing firearms, thousands of AK-47 in the midst of this high insecurity in the country. If not for anything, the police should have been able to trace the loss of these arms
Before now.
and know what happened, because it is not no, it is no longer news that in some cases some people who are in charge of the armory
have been reported to be selling arms to criminals. It happens. We've been reading them. So if 3,000 something AK-47 got missing and they found their way to wrong hands,
Almost 4,000.
almost 4,000,
907.
and police has not been able to nip it on the bud, apprehend those who will answer for these firearms in their possession. It means that everywhere is porous. So I believe that this response I have given is being shrouded. The answers have not come out. Because if you're able to document your investigations and now tell this committee that we found out this one to be traced to this and that officer has been apprehended, and this is the disciplinary action the police has taken against the officer, it will be useful. But to say that it's a security issue, that you cannot go into it, means that you don't have any answer. This public account is seized with the Auditor General's report, where these infractions have been highlighted. And if you come before us and expect us to sweep it under the carpet, it means that we have failed to do our duties to the Nigerian public.
Thank you,
and so rest my case.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Distinguished colleagues, I know for sure that in the Nigerian police, a loss of firearms is always treated with greatest caution, detailed investigation, and I've not seen an officer that uses a rifle that goes scot-free. I think it is well, I've never seen it. But in some of these instances, what the police need to do is to come down from their high horses. When you are issued query, do the needful as appropriate. If you had engaged the Auditor General's office, we wouldn't be where we are now. If you had given all the required information, we will not be here. We will not be here. I will not have all these altercation and what have you. I think AIG, please recommend to the IG that whenever you are issued query, please do the need. If you think it's security in nature, engage them before it comes in. Engage them before it comes in. Thank you.
I think your words, as I understood them, didn't tantamount to giving anybody the only branch, as Senator Joel assumed, because you made a point, it is irreducible. That is to say, we are here as public trustees. We are here not only to account for money, in this case, to account for weapons which may have found their way into the hands of criminals. The day the Senate cannot deal with this transparently, transparency means openly, then we will have failed our primary responsibility. And so I hold the view that the attempt by the AIG to take cover or refuge under food security issues is completely inappropriate and even facetious. Because you, more than us, should be very worried that about 4,000 arms, some of which would have been used by criminals to compound the security situation we are facing as a people. And that as we speak, you don't know who is applied them. They may be applied today to kill an innocent person. And it will be your law to go and find out people. The least I expected of you, and I insist that you should discharge that burden, is to say that you track these missing arms to an officer whose name must be disclosed. Because when you arrest people who stole rats and rabbits, you parade them. So if a police officer sell or through neglect, deliberately by omission or commission, is responsible or are responsible for missing of this number of arms, you have an obligation not only to disclose, but to apprehend, parade, and name such persons. This country must operate under the same level of rule of law. Mr. Chairman, sir, if it is the intention of the framers of the Nigerian Constitution that some level of crime should be treated under
quote, security reasons, then this committee is not required. The name public account is meant to be interpreted literally.
It's supposed to be live. Proceeding is supposed to be live.
Right, yes.
That's the way it is
So-
in the US Congress.
So, my dear friends, you know the police is supposed to be, the police is our friend. Let me ask you a personal question. How do you feel that about 4,000 AK-47 procured by taxpayers' money, that is not the essence of it. The taxpayers' money are wasted, we are making no news. What is worrisome is that this money used to procure arms for the purpose of protecting Nigerians by trained Nigeria police force is now lost to or stolen, or an officer distributed them. Somebody mentioned, every day we hear news of some people selling arms to criminals. And you will understand, as governor of Edo State, my personal assistant, my principal private secretary, was killed. And the police report was that the firearm that was used was under police custody. That remains a scar in my heart forever. So I think you have a duty, this one we will not waive. Mr. Chairman, I hold the view they must account for each and every piece of those weapons.
Thank you.
They must disclose other who scare were those weapons missing. If those people are alive, let the stone be written. Here lies an officer who sold arms to criminals. And if he's alive, he should be summoned under the appropriate law, have been asked to account for it, and be prosecuted according to law. The reason we have to do that, even if they are retired, is if we don't do that, those have been now, we learn no lesson. It is not for nothing that sanctions are provided for in our laws.
Thank you, Your
Without sanction, there can be no discipline.
Thank you, Your
So, and I want you to understand that we are trying to be as nice as we can, but without being so nice as to become guilty of negligence of our primary responsibility. I have spoken at length about the need for appropriate oversight of the Senate. Because I can't justify my stay in Abuja if I can't fulfill the mission of a senator. And that includes, as a member of this committee, that you account for those arms. It's not money now. This is much more than money. And until you do so satisfactorily, this case must be sustained.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for that. All the contributions of my distinguished colleagues, but my position is that we should err on the side of caution first. Let us hear what they have to say closed door. Doesn't mean we keep it closed door. We will come out of the closed door session and tell the public in our own words so that people will digest this information. 4,000 arms is not something that we should just think. The word is already out there, the numbers are out there. But I think it behoves on us to understand what they have gone through, the investigations they've gone through. Let us ask them in closed door. There are certain things they might say in answering us publicly in the first instance that would actually be giving away certain national security issues. I think we should give them that benefit of doubt before we go out and give everything out to the gallery. This is my position, sir.
Thank you, distinguished colleague. One is speaking to the fact that we should have a closed door on this matter. The other, which is on the majority side, is saying that everything before public accounts should be public.
I've had my say.
Those who are in support that we should continue with the proceedings publicly like we are doing, can you say aye?
Aye.
Those that are agitating for closed door meeting before briefing the press, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes are Our intention here as a committee is to let Nigerians know what happens with their public fund. These firearms, like submitted earlier by my leaders, the Rabbits-Oshiomhole, were procured with public funds. So it goes without saying that the public should know the whereabouts of this fund. It will also help the public to be at watch in search of some of these firearms. So I support that we continue this hearing publicly. And without much ado, except if you have further explanation as to the number recovered as at now, number still unrecovered as at now, in the absence of that information, we'll go ahead to adopt the recommendation of Auditor General of the Federation. AIG, the floor is yours.
Their names are here.
Now, how many? The press, the number, we need the number. Those killed, we know the number. The arms taken away. So those information are very important. We want to be certain and specific.
Yeah, my officer will continue.
Go ahead.
Thanks. If you look from page 225, before I go into the details, whenever arms are lost, investigations are always carried out. And investigation reports are written before they are forwarded before secretaries for confirmation. If you look at page 225, it was in case
225.
25.
225. Just a minute.
Yeah, 225.
All right, let me get it. PC Habila Godia, 1 AK-47. Injured officers are about 14 AK-47. So if we add 14 to 6, that will give us 20 AK-47.
It's continuous. It's altogether 14.
Okay, it's 14. Okay, 14 in all. So 14. What happened to the rest?
Then you go to.
Yes, we're here. Can you read along with us? Yes.
Yeah, 2 people are involved there.
Who and who?
TSP Mohammed Tabo.
I can't see it.
Under findings.
Under the heading.
Okay, findings, yes.
Under the heading, see.
Go ahead. DSP Mohammed Atabo is attached to SIB Abuja. Yes, read with me now.
Attack by armed robber, yes.
Okay.
Yes, and then the next case we have here is on.
That is one.
Yeah, page
That was one.
241.
Page 241.
There's 231.
Okay, this one is pistol. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
The next page is what? 241?
231.
Okay, I'm here. 231.
Okay.
Inspector Zabia. Yes, pistol. What happened to him?
He was killed.
Pistol. One, yes, another one.
234.
Oh, in the
Are we taking 234?
234.
231.
We are done with 231.
Okay.
That has to do with one officer. If I'm correct.
Yes, sir.
Good. Inspector Zadiaya. He lost his pistol.
Then 234.
234. Yes. Police investigation report, case of loss of firearms. Sergeant Emmanuel Akala.
Yes, sir.
With this, yes. One person, what happened to him?
Yes, okay.
What was lost? Is it pistol or AK-47?
No, 234.
It happened 11th November 1998. So it's out of our scope.
Which page?
That is page 234. This incident happened 11th of November 1998. He's out of our school. If I'm correct, can you look at the date by committee? Yes, yes.
It's part of the query.
Before the return of democracy.
It's part of the query.
1998.
Yeah, that's part of the query they gave.
The query was for which period of time? This is for which period of time, Mr. General?
2019.
2019?
Yeah.
But the query forwarded to us contained
Ammunition, Sergeant Alex or Okorafo. Yes. This one is 1998. Am I correct? 1998. So what happens? What was lost here? What was lost?
LAR, rifle.
What type of rifle is that?
The long one.
this long one that boys carry.
303. Don't use it anymore.
Okay.
What do your men carry? Boys carry. What do men carry? I don't know officers and men. I'm not.
Yes. Any other one?
241.
241. Yes, 241, yes. The case of Sergeant Joseph Otaye. What was lost? For the same LAR. A summary of numbers recovered, those killed, numbers yet to be recovered. You give us, because all these things we are doing is not necessary. Except to want us to, take you by what you submitted. We can do that.
So on this, if I complete.
The men that were killed and their weapons scattered away. Some of the reports from the Auditor General's office, somebody could be working in Delta and maybe move his principal to Abuja, he will still be retaining that arm with him here. So where they didn't see those arms, in the location where it was issued, they deemed them to have been lost. Some of them are not lost per se.
We should arrest this document.
So I want the senators to know this too. It's not all of them that were lost. Some of the boys must have moved from their location to Abuja or to other areas with their weapon, different from where they were issued.
Is it allowed in the force?
Yes.
Yes. If you are moving with your principal,
Yes.
you are allowed to go with your arm.
So,
You are allowed to book your movement. It will be there.
yes.
If it's not booked, the auditors themselves will not see it to report the loss. Maybe as is expected, every blessed day as you are closing, you return these arms to your armory. Like my governor sir. He's here.
Let me help you.
Okay, sir.
I'm not a police officer. When is the seat?
And then you return the weapon, because when you return the weapon, who protects the governor? Go to choose the governor as an example. Yes. I want your answer on that. When you attack to protect the governor, supposed to return the weapon that you're supposed to use to protect the governor. When the governor is still in office and the policeman has not been withdrawn. I want your answer, sir. No. This one, everybody should answer his father's name. What is your answer to that?
Sorry, sir, for all these altercations.
No, it's good. It's all about
As I
already tired.
As I earlier requested, so that we produce something better.
Yeah.
We are coming up with a summary, with a good table, analyzed and simplified to the level everybody will understand, sir.
Very good.
We are not going to hide anything, and I assure you that the force has done a lot, and they will not allow any of our arms to get missing.
Very good.
Like the senator said, every policeman is afraid that instead of losing his arms, it's better he run away or even lose his life. It is like that, sir.
That is the tradition.
So that is it, sir. So no arms, to me, no arms was missing, and we are going to justify it, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
No arm was missing, or no arm
will be missing.
Was unaccounted for.
Unaccounted for. Thank you for the correction.
Yeah, because those who died.
Thank you, sir.
Those who died, what happened to their arms? You said they were carted away.
Carted away. I understand.
You see, trying to defend one lie, you will have more trouble.
Thank you for the correction, sir.
Thank you so much. To Carfor.
Yes, sir.
And he's still with the firearms.
Yes, sir.
So you cannot, if an auditor comes to a boy in command, for example, and the firearm is not there, You can't report missing firearms.
Sir, I'm talking out of it. Sir. Now, as our governor, sir,
Yes.
your escorts that brought you to Abuja, the arm is
He
ready.
brought me, he escorted me.
Okay, yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
So you was not under arrest.
Your escorts to Abuja, their arm is recorded in Edo State, where they are serving, whether with the mobile or the regular force. As you are coming, as they are coming with you, sir, as your escort, anytime if you didn't go home for the next 2 years and the arms are not reported, the length of time that it has taken, the auditors when they come, because it's a requirement of law that they should return this arm every blessed day when you are closing from work. You are not expected to go home with these arms. No. So if the auditors come, if for example we are here, if I have arm, I'm here now, if the auditor should be in my office, and for example the arm has taken maybe up to 30 days, and the arm is not there, it's not recorded, that it will bear my name there. The fact that for 30 days this arm consistently has not been recorded, has been returned, book has been returned, it is deemed to have been lost.
And there is a name of an officer that that particular firearms is being assigned to, and there is no report of such an officer being attacked or dead, then you want us to believe you that presumption of loss will arise.
Yes, sir.
I want to tell that is wrong.
That's what we are experiencing.
It's not possible in law.
I'm telling you, sir, you are, thank God we are, no, sorry, sir, thank God we are not in law.
Please, let me tell you. We have reportable and irreportable presumption in law. What you are saying is a rebuttable presumption. What you are saying is a rebuttable presumption. You cannot declare firearms missing when there is no account of the holder of the firearms. I'm not a policeman, but common sense tells me
You gave me as an example
that you are wrong. You can't take that. You can't take that. You can't take that.
Private secretary. It remains in sky and police force. What you have just said is not correct.
I'm telling you.
Whether by common sense
or by law.
You attach people to the governor. You didn't attach them to Benin City. Which is the correct question? Were they attached to the governor or they attached to the office? To the building? Is the governor assumed to be mobile or stationed? Under the rules of engagement, the police attached to the governor. When the governor is traveling, are they to take permission before they travel? Those attached to me regularly tells me that they go to regularize
their booking.
Not only the booking of their arms, but also from time to time that they are where they are supposed to be. And sometimes your officers come to check if they are still with me,
you
in case they may have left without reporting. To make the assumption you have made it to insult the intelligence of the police, not us. When you suggest to us that if an officer moved from Benin on official escort duty to which you officially and legally assigned him, that you will presume his weapon is no longer with him.
No tweets.
When?
Okay.
Even in the days of analog system of phone calls, when I don't know how many phones you have, it takes a police, the nearest police station you can ask him to go and check. So the truth of the matter is, you have to go back. If I were you, you will take the option of going to document, even if we were to take your views, which I think might put you in more trouble, to document those who have presumed loss, not because the officers are dead, not because they can't be reached, and you are paid their salaries, there's evidence their salaries is being paid as well due, and you assume that because they are not at the point at which they were assigned to an officer or to a particular duty, therefore you choose to record, not us, not the Auditor General, not the Auditor General, you choose to record that they should be presumed to have been lost.
With their firearms.
Does that meet the requirement of common sense?
It does not. It does not. Does not.
How?
So AIG.
You know why I don't want to trouble this file is that, you know, go through this document, I see officers who have paid the supreme price. That is to say, those who died, who were shot by armed robbers or other criminals in the course of their going about their business of protecting the Nigerian people. To them, my heart goes to their family and their children, and I think they pay the supreme price. So it would even be nice to be discussing them, right? But you should be seen to offer us a basis to give you the benefit of the doubt. But the argument you offer, for me, I am flabbergasted. How? You are somebody now, police that were attached to me from Abuja by IG Balogu. And I transfer and they report to police that we are now located here. You presume that their arms are missing. That's what you are trying to explain. That's how I understand you.
That is the presumption.
No, sir.
Let him finish.
He has tried to help you.
Okay, no, let him go ahead, AIG.
You sit at the door, you have to pass the door.
No, let's hear from him.
Auditor General's representative that went to the various states and commissions and locations that made this presumption, because the routine rule of daily booking and returning the arm is not maintained for a period of time. That
so when you assign a policeman to a governor with arms,
yes, sir.
I'm saying, I'm just using a name.
Okay, sir.
That's
to guide the governor 24/7.
And out of the 60 years, I practiced for 13 years. Before a report, of loss of firearms can be forwarded to Auditor General or the external auditor, that matter must have been investigated and established. You can't tell me that if Maudley that works with me in Ebony is coming with me in Abuja, they will report his firearms as missing. It's not done that way. That firearms reads Senator Onyekachi Nwebonyi.
No, sir, not you, sir. Sorry, sir, for interjecting.
Yes. 7 firearms belonging to Nigerian police. The Senate Committee on Public Accounts is not satisfied with the explanation on these missing rifles. While we pray for God to forgive and accept in His presence the lives of about 15 police officers that died, and in the course of that, their rifles were taken away. But for other 3,900 and something rifles unaccounted for, we expect the Office of Inspector General of Police to appear before us again on Monday by 12 noon with vivid, comprehensive explanation as to these missing firearms. That is the position of the committee. Thank you. I think we'll step it down pending when we resume the hearing on the Nigerian Police Force so that we can take one other agency. So, in absence of that, clerk, can you dismiss the IG team and invite the NUPRIC so that we can listen to them?
Yes.
Give your best.
And I'm very proud and happy with this committee. And I promise that we are going to sit up. I will justify every bit of Naira given to us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hope to see you. Good man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'll come off you.
No, no, but sit down. I want to pray.
Paid back to contractors / consultants 19,840,081 naira 29 kobo. Paragraph 620 of the Financial Regulations provides that receipts given on paid vouchers are liable to stamp duty in accordance with the Stamp Duties Ordinance Stamp Duties Act, Cap 411. Also, paragraph 6 of the Treasury Circular reference number TRY